too long on the block. If you're a defensive lineman, you can't expect your linebackers and safeties to always make the play. You got to get off the block and make a play. And the last thing, to me, I think they just needed more guys in the box. Obviously, as the game went on, the more and more you watched it, you saw on the other side Notre Dame was adding a guy into the box. They had sometimes eight guys in the box ready. They were not going to let that run game from USC go on. And I thought USC should have done a little more. Yeah, we rolled the guy in late, but at times you got to just load a guy in there and just have him ready and not roll late every time.
So Shaun told me I'm not allowed to compare teams and games, but Notre Dame's playing Boston College right now, 1-7 Boston College. They have 12 points halfway through the third quarter, and Love has 27 yards rushing. Now they've let Carr throw for 200 yards passing. I mean, ultimately, is that the issue there? They just didn't pick their poison enough and commit to the run, or were they there and didn't make the plays?
Shaun said it. He said it all. Everything he said. If you just look at the film, it was happening. You see guys that, starting on one hash, ended up across to the other hash, 3 to 5 yards of displace. You got guys guessing and just not getting off blocks. And I understand they were getting away with a lot of holds. That happens in football. That's not given on any side.
I loved what you said on Twitter, Sua. We got to stop this with everyone freeze framing holds like on every play. I mean, there's lots of things we could talk about with officials and whatnot, especially with the way things are called. But that was not the problem.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong. When I'm live tweeting the game, I'm going to call out an egregious hold what we saw on the kick return that changes the game. I'm going to say, hey, not to be, the pot calling the kettle black and saying, oh, they're holding us, but that was a hold that changes the game. But that's not why we lost. We were getting dominated up front in a lot of aspects. We were guessing in run plays. Our DBs, as Shaun said, were lining up 8 to 10 yards off, and they're not passing the ball. I don't understand why we were giving them that much respect. We should have dedicated another safety into the box maybe. There was a lot of things we could have did different, but being held was not the reason why we lost.
No, and there was, to take that kick return. I mean, there was a missed tackle on it too. I mean, so you can make that tackle and then complain about the hold, or take it back for a touchdown and complain about the hold, right? I mean, ultimately that's what it comes down to. The team that wins is not complaining about those things because they took care of what they could control. Cody, I was interested in sort of the adjustment, and I think this USC defense schematically is a little bit caught in between right now. Against Michigan, they were playing Eric Gentry sort of in the slot. He was that kind of extra man, that basically the nickel player. And they started Notre Dame that way. It obviously did not go well in the first half, and then they sort of reverted back to Kamari playing that spot, which is what they had done for most of the beginning of the season. But either way, it seems to be like either costing them Gentry or Kamari, who are their two best players. So it seems to me they're caught a little bit in between on what they want to do.
Yeah, and obviously for me, I've always been a big fan of Kamari at safety. That's what he did so well a year ago. That's what made him one of the best safeties in the entire country. But this year he's had to play at that nickel spot, and he's done it back and forth throughout the season. We saw him go back to that safety position against Michigan, brought 3 linebackers into the game, and it worked well. And then this week against Notre Dame, or a couple weeks ago against Notre Dame, it didn't work well. But the reason I think that he's so interchangeable with D'Anton Lynn right now is because of the versatility he has, but also the trust that Lynn has for Kamari in this scheme. The linebacker play this year has not been great, but he knows that Kamari can come down in the box and be a surefire tackler. He's one of the best players on this defense. It's just unfortunate that he has to play out of position and make up for some of the deficiencies on this defense.
Yeah, and that's really what it is, Shaun, right? It's a little bit trying to fit some square pegs in round holes because they just don't have necessarily the perfect person for it. I know you've said to me a couple times this year, boy, you appreciate Jalen Smith and what he gave to this program the last couple years because they don't really have a Jalen Smith. As for the secondary, held up a little bit better against Notre Dame. I mean, I thought C.J. Carr was not very good, I didn't think, in that game. I thought DeCarlos Nicholson was maybe the best defensive player in a USC uniform.
Yeah, I kind of picked their poison a little bit, right? You said earlier, wanted to stop the pass a little bit more. We're not as tight in coverage and press as you would like. It's still a lot of space out there for those just to catch those easy little turnaround routes and pick up easy yardage. But didn't give up any big shots really, and kind of held C.J. Carr and that talented wide receiver crew down. But at the cost to what? You know what I mean? That's the problem.
Yeah, ultimately they did not hold Notre Dame down, and that's what matters. That's the goal. If you want the inside scoop on this game and all things Trojans, be sure to sign up for the 3 Torches presented by Smart and Final. It's a free newsletter. It'll hit your email inbox 3 times a week with game info, player insights, and more. Go to usctrojans.com/3 Torches and sign up. And introducing Celaya Tequila, brought to you by USC football legends Matt and Ryan Khalil. Celebrate your story with a homegrown spirit, Celaya Tequila. All right, we're moving on here. We got a big one coming up, and Dennis Simmons is going to tell Cody Kessler about it. He's USC's wide receiver coach. That's next in the Trojan Tailgate Show presented by YETI.
Tommy Trojan is at the 10, the 5, touchdown, USC.
Make big plays on the field and in life. With iTrust Capital, you can buy and sell crypto 24/7 in a secure premium custody account or in a tax-advantaged crypto IRA. iTrust Capital is easy to use and has no sign-up fees. Don't be a Monday morning quarterback. Make big plays now. Visit itrustcapital.com/USC to start investing today. Use promo code Trojans to get $100. iTrust Capital, the official cryptocurrency platform of the USC Trojans.
Taxes and conditions may apply. Fees apply. Cryptocurrencies are a speculative investment.
All right, class, settle down. Today's lesson is on the Arco Rewards app. Try to stay with me. The fundamentals are simple. Earn at least 5 cents a gallon in rewards, then redeem them later for up to $1 off every gallon. Now here's where it gets complicated. Oh, wait, it doesn't. It's as simple as downloading the Arco Rewards app to get started. Class dismissed!
Savings of up to $1 per gallon redeemable with 20 rewards dollars in your loyalty account at participating locations. Terms and conditions apply.
Invesco QQQ is the official ETF partner of the USC Trojans. The future isn't scary. Not realizing its potential, however, could be. In the game of football, the goal is to build a winning team that strives for excellence on the field. And how do you do that? By fulfilling each player's potential for growth. That's like having your starting quarterback throw the perfect spiral for a touchdown. Let's rethink possibility. Invesco Distributors, Inc.
What does 268 horsepower sound like? You're hearing it right now. The all-new Audi A5. With breathtaking acceleration that commands attention. Precision crafted to bring the thrill to every turn. This is powerful performance. The all-new Audi A5.
This is USC football on the home of the Trojans. 710 ESPN and the all-new ESPNLA app. Your destination for LA sports. Fight on!
Hey, Trojan fans, at Ralph's you get high quality and low prices, so you never have to compromise your budget. Save on thousands of items throughout the store. Ralph's, fresh for everyone. And Trojan fans, you can listen to USC football and all the biggest college football and basketball games on the TuneIn app. It's free internet radio. Well, it's time for our offensive game plan here on the Trojan Tailgate Show, presented by YETI. Here's Cody Kessler with Dennis Simmons.
The USC Trojans offensive game plan is brought to you by iTrust Capital.
iTrust Capital is the official cryptocurrency platform of the USC Trojans.
What's up, Trojan fans? Cody Kessler here for your offensive game plan. And I'm joined by wide receivers coach Dennis Simmons. Coach, how's it going?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm doing good, Coach. I want to start with someone who's been having a big year. Mekhi Lemon has made some big-time catches this year. He's playing at a very high level. He's come a long way since his freshman year. What's impressed you the most about Mekhi and his development these last couple seasons?
Well, I think it's just, now's his time. He's gotten his opportunity. If you think about his journey here, he played receiver 2 games his freshman year, then played DB. Last year was his full, first year playing receiver full time, and he split time with another player. And this year, he's taking ownership of the position, and he's shown what we all knew that he was capable of doing.
Coach, another guy in your room that's extremely talented is Jacoby Lane. He's battled through some injuries this year, but he's stepped up big time when his team needs him to. What are you seeing from Jacoby this year, not only as a player on the field, but also a leadership in your room?
I mean, Jacoby has grown up. I think a lot of times, people lose sight that at the end of the day, these are still just kids. I mean, Jacoby just turned 20 years old this year. And just to kind of give you a little bit about the character of how much that kid cares about being here and how much he cares about his team. I mean, we're playing Illinois. He didn't get cleared to play until Saturday morning of the game.
Wow.
And so we're on the sideline in the first half, and he talked me and the doctors in putting them in a couple of packages. And when you spend as much time with these kids, they become more than just your players. They become like your children. So it's like, look, dude, I know you're cleared to play. I know you want to play, but I mean, at the end of the day, you're in the back of your mind, you're thinking, hey, this is a bigger picture. If I put you in there and you get injured, then, that's less sleep I'm going to get at night, because I'm going to be questioning myself. And, as the game was going on toward the end of the first half, he came over to me. He's like, look, I know what your answer is going to be, and I know you do not want to put me in because you're worried about my health. I'm going to be fine. But my brothers need me, and we need to win this game. Yeah. And he was like, even if I'm in there as a decoy, that way the defense can't roll, the coverage to Lake or to Lim. It'll balance it out. I can spread it out for everybody else. And I'm like, going back and forth. We go in at halftime. We make our adjustments as coaches. I go in and I sit down with the guys, and he kind of looks at me and pulls me off to the side. He's like, look, I know you care about me, but I care about this team. And once again, if I could do something to help us win, I'm going to do something to help us win. And, he hops in the second half, and he blocks his butt off and, has a couple of crucial third down conversions to keep drives going. And, I mean, that's the biggest growth and maturity that, I can verbally, express to you about who that kid is and where his mentality and where his heart is for this team.
I'm glad you shared that too, Coach, because we see the one-hand catches, we see all the stuff on social media, but that's great insight into the leader that he is and how well he's been for this team this year. Talking with wide receiver coach Dennis Simmons, also pass game coordinator, associate head coach. Coach, last one for me. Nebraska has the number 2 ranked pass defense in the country this year. It's going to be a great test for your guys this Saturday. What's the message to your group as they prepare for this Cornhusker defense?
I mean, I think it's the same message that you prepare for any game. You go in there with the mentality of, hey, we want to catch everything that's thrown our direction, and we want to make the quarterback right. So, I mean, we got to go in there. We got to play, with a sense of urgency, and we got to bring some physicality to the game. And then, they're good at what they do, and I feel like we're good at what we do. We go out and put it on the field and see where the chips fall.
Well, Coach, thanks for joining us, and good luck on Saturday. For Coach Simmons, I'm Cody Kessler, and this has been your offensive game plan. Fight on.
Yeah, it kind of bums me out USC didn't win that Illinois game because, if you do, then that story about Jacoby becomes kind of the stuff of legends, sort of heroic stuff. Unfortunately, when you lose games, people don't talk about stuff like that. But I'm sure in the locker room, it really is something that meant a lot to his team and his teammates.
Yeah, and the cool part about it, too, is that, like I said, we didn't have more time to get into it, but we see the one-handed catches. We see the personality that Jacoby has on social media. We see the dancing. We see all of that. But I'm so happy that Coach Simmons shared that story because you really don't understand what these players go through on a day-to-day basis and how much they really care about this football team. And for him to put his body on the line, not worried about his own health, but for his guys and for his brothers was really cool. So I'm glad Coach Simmons shared that. And I know it would have been great if they win that game, but you know what? If they dominate the rest of this year and play well and have a chance at the conference and have a chance for the college football playoff, I promise we can look back on that, on the type of leadership that Jacoby Lane has.
Yeah, and I think he's massive if they're going to do that. If they're going to do that, he's going to be a huge part of it. We'll get into that more as this show goes on. I want to talk about the tailbacks, though, Sua. Brian Jackson was another one who just sort of put his body on the line for the team and came back in the middle of a game. That was against Michigan. And then against Notre Dame, you saw King Miller as clearly the lead back, Brian Jackson as clearly the backup. Now with a bye week, you think that rotation changes at all? You still think King's the guy and Brian is sort of the change of pace?
I think it just depends on the game plan offensively, but it is what it is at this point in the backfield. We got to address the elephant in the room. We're missing the production from Sanders and Jordan. I know it hasn't been that long since they got hurt, but it was an immediate difference. And when a team has a time to game plan for a guy like King Miller, it's not like a surprise substitute of a change of pace that's like, wow, this guy's a lot faster. We got caught in the wrong defense and he ran away for a score like we've seen him do. It's different. But I think these young guys have to get ready to do more than just carry the football. They have to be ready to not only be productive on the ground, but be able to pass block, be able to catch out the backfield, because this USC offense, I think, is going to get, unfortunately, I think it's going to start going back to its old habits and start getting a little pass happy early in games. But to keep defense at bay, if you're going to do that, your running backs have to catch out the backfield like we used to do with Woody Marks. And I think these youngins got to get ready to step up.
Yeah, and I think it's important with that bye week, Jordan. You get a bye week for a young player like these guys are. The young players, you can get into that playbook a little more, get those guys, they're probably feeling comfortable with a couple handful of plays going into before their starters, right? Then now the whole playbook is open to them. They got to get in that playbook for that bye week and understand what this offense needs out of them. And I think that bye week lined up perfectly for those young players to get those reps.
Yeah, I talked to King Miller later on in this broadcast, and it's pretty crazy that he gets thrust in against Michigan, then goes to Notre Dame as the starter, then comes to Nebraska as the expected starter. I mean, that's 3 programs that have whatever thousands wins between them. It's pretty big time stuff for a walk-on. So we'll see if the King Miller story can keep going here today. Next up, we have the defensive game plan. Stay tuned on the Trojan Tailgate Show presented by YETI.
In the summer of 1997, Stone IPA was first brewed. We weren't trying to create the next big thing in beer. We just wanted to make the first anniversary ale of our dreams. Crisp, light-bodied, and still packed with hoppy flavor. That little recipe went on to become our flagship beer and inspired a generation of brewers and beer lovers. From that first batch to today, Stone IPA is still the iconic West Coast style IPA.
Hi, Trojan fans. Are you ready to fight on? Fruitist Blueberries got your back. All across the gridiron, straight into the end zone, our berries pack flavor and crunch into every bite. Get ready for Fruitist Blueberries, official superfruit snack sponsor of USC Trojans football. Delicious, healthy, and always ready to win. Snack smarter. Snack Fruitist, because even our berries fight on. Fruitist, Fruitist, for the love of fruit. Available in stores near you.
We are Life Law, where we make injury law simple. We have 2 simple goals for all of our clients: full medical recovery and ultimately full monetary compensation. We understand that it can be overwhelming to face the uncertainty in the wake of an accident. We will be there with you at each step in the legal and healthcare process. You will pay nothing unless we win your case. Dial 1-800-LYFE-LAW or check us out at lyfe.com. Life Law, official sponsors of USC Athletics.
Hear that? The next chapter of Audi performance is here. That's the sound of every interior detail refined. And that's the sound of Quattro all-wheel drive. The all-new Audi Q5, the all-new A5, and Q7. Each one a statement. Performance never goes out of style.
You're listening to USC Football.
Hear every moment of USC football on 710 ESPN and the all-new ESPNLA app.
Hey, USC Trojans, Abbott and the Big Ten are back with the We Give Blood Drive. Show up to donate blood to help your school win $1 million for student or community health. Score limited edition USC Trojan Tee and save lives. Go to big10.org/Abbott, ABBOTT, to get in the game. USC Game Day experience is now on Airbnb. Book at airbnb.com/USC Game Day. We're back live on the Trojan Tailgate Show presented by YETI. Let's talk defensive game plan. Here is Shaun Cody with the cornerbacks coach, Trevon Reed.
The USC Trojans defensive game plan is brought to you by LifeLaw.
Injury law made simple.
I'm here with the defensive game plan with cornerbacks coach Trevon Reed. Coach, great to have you. Thanks for coming on. Coach, coming off a bye week. Coach, what did you want to get done during the bye week? You know, sometimes you got to take some rest. Sometimes you got to work on some things. What did your group try to do?
Man, we just wanted to get 100% healthy so we could go on a stretch and do this, finish this thing the right way. Guys played their butts off. We just got to continue to get healthy, continue to go out there and give the Trojan family everything we got week in, week out, and live with the results.
Coach, 7 games into the season, you know, you had a group of you, like you mentioned, have been banged up in some spots. We've seen a lot of DeCarlos Nicholson, Marcellus Williams lately. What have you seen from your group through 7 games?
They playing with heart. Everyone out there fighting, again, for the Trojan family, everyone who's rooting for this team, for us to be successful. They giving it everything they got, man. And like a young guy like Marcellus, man, he's not just going through it, he's growing through it, right? He haven't been in some of these spots before, so he's growing on the go. And I tell him that every chance I get, man, you're doing a great job. You're growing on the go, and he's continuing to get better. DeCarlos continue to get better. The whole room continue to get better each week. Again, we're going to continue to live with the results because we know we're putting the work in.
Coach, you know, when you work through a bye week, there's always things to try to get better at. Is there anything specifically your group, or maybe just the defense, is trying to take into these last 5 games of the year to you know, take that defense to the next level?
Oh, yeah, for sure. We could always be better with attention to detail, and that's where everything, man, that's not just in football. That's how you attend class, the meeting room, watching film. We could always get better, even when you feel like you've done your best. You played the game, you know, when you feel like, man, I balled that game. And then you look at the film and you know you left some plays out there. So, man, again, we just continue to just work, continue to sharpen each other, continue to show up and fix the things that we know we need to fix to get better. And, again, we're going to continue to live with the results because we putting the work in.
Coach, you got a talented quarterback in Dylan Raiola coming up, a good air attack from Nebraska. What do you see from them, and what do you guys got to get done against Nebraska to get this win?
Man, they're a great team. They're coached well. They have some veteran presence on the outside, a young phenom at quarterback. And we just got to continue to work on ourselves, and we'll see them Saturday when we get there.
Coach, I expect to see you in costume on that plane on Friday. It's going to be Halloween. What are you going to be for Halloween, Coach?
I might dress up as you, man. Be on the lookout. I might get your jersey with a helmet on and dress up as you, big dog.
Well, you probably need another 200 pounds on you, Coach. But anyway, I'll see you on Friday, Coach. That's our defensive game plan with defensive backs coach Siobhan Reed. Thanks, Coach, for jumping on and fight on.
Yes, sir. Fight on.
Like you said, that guy hasn't emerged. I thought early on the ends were the guys that are creating some pressure. We saw Devin Tompkins a couple weeks back against Michigan at the end of the game, came on, had some good pass rushes to close that one out. Just you're right though. It hasn't been a guy, and it doesn't need to be a guy, but it needs to be a better collective effort to get back to the quarterback. We started off the season really hot. That kind of slowed down through the middle here. We got to find that pass rush, especially today. It's going to be a big emphasis on what Nebraska's trying to do against us.
So is there any one or two people that particularly popped off the film to you?
Lean towards Crawford. I like Lucas at times. Thought Lucas was going to have a really big year after that first game for sure. But still waiting for the go-to pass rusher on third down. We really need one. It's been a while since USC's had a real deal consistent rush on third down that gets after the passer. I miss those Frosty Rucker and Everson Griffin and those
Tuli Pelotu.
Tuli. But you need to stop the run to get to the pass, and that's part of the problem here. You got to force teams into passing situations. You got to get the lead. You got to get up on people, and that hasn't been the case so far for the Trojans.
Cody, real quick, it seems like Marcellus Williams was the call at the other corner spot. That's obviously been an issue all season long. What do you see from Marcellus as maybe he becomes the guy here in the final month?
Yeah, he's been up and down so far this year, but he's been thrown in that position. I'm glad, Shaun asked that question, was talking to Coach Reed about it. We're watching him learn and grow in real time. He's getting put in positions that he's never been in before. He's a young player. He's going to have to learn on the fly. But we saw that with some of the pass rushers last year, getting thrown into the fire. They're going to be better for it, but he needs to be big in this football game, and he has to cover for a long time because Dylan Raiola likes to extend plays with his legs and find guys down the field.
As promised, King Miller, one of the stories of the season, is next on the broadcast. This is the Trojan Tailgate Show presented by YETI.
Hey, this is Lincoln Riley. This is Trojans football on 710 ESPN. KSPN Los Angeles. Your home for USC football is 710 ESPN and the all-new ESPNLA app. Fight on.
All right, everyone. Welcome to Arco Rewards Orientation. I'm Hannah.
Whoa. Is everything okay?
That's a code green. Someone just earned at least 5 cents a gallon in rewards.
Wow. Another one?
Well, that one's a code gold. The customer just redeemed savings of up to $1 a gallon.
Impressive. What does that one mean?
Oh, that's just Piggy. He gets excited when we talk about rewards.
Savings of up to $1 per gallon redeemable with 20 rewards dollars in your loyalty account. At participating locations, terms and conditions apply.
A Jersey Mike's sub bowl is any sub without the bread. They're great anywhere.
So you can have a Mike's Chicken Philly sub bowl on the beach?
Sure can.
Or a BLT sub bowl when you're at the airport?
Absolutely.
So I can have a turkey provolone sub bowl on a date with my mom's lifelong best friend?
Are you sure it's a good idea?
Linda knows how to handle me.
Yeah, it's like we've known each other forever.
Because you have, Linda. Your favorite sub in a bowl for any time, anywhere. It's a Jersey Mike's thing, a sub above.
Tommy Trojan is at the 10, the 5, touchdown, USC.
Make big plays on the field and in life. With iTrust Capital, you can buy and sell crypto 24/7 in a secure premium custody account or in a tax-advantaged crypto IRA. iTrust Capital is easy to use and has no sign-up fees. Don't be a Monday morning quarterback. Make big plays now. Visit itrustcapital.com/USC to start investing today. Use promo code Trojans to get $100. iTrust Capital, the official cryptocurrency platform of the USC Trojans.
Taxes and conditions may apply. Fees apply. Cryptocurrencies are a speculative investment.
Jake from State Farm. I just beat my running PR, so I'm celebrating with the Banana Bonanza smoothie.
Hey, and you can keep celebrating when you create an affordable price just for you by bundling your home and auto with the State Farm Personal Price Plan. Go bananas.
I will. Hey, make it a large.
Bundling, just another way to save with the Personal Price Plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
This is USC football on the home of the Trojans. 710 ESPN and the all-new ESPNLA app. Your destination for LA sports. Fight on!
Ocean views, magical sunsets, a luxury resort like no other. Discover Terranea, located along the stunning Palos Verdes Peninsula in Southern California. Book your getaway to Terranea now at Terranea.com. Back live on the Trojan Tailgate Show presented by YETI. Here's my conversation with King Miller.
The USC Impact Matchup of the Week is brought to you by Invesco QQQ.
Invesco QQQ. Explore with Invesco QQQ. Fight on.
Fight on.
Now, the Impact Matchup of the Week.
Time for this week's Impact Matchup, and I've got King Miller, who's been such an incredible story this season. King, man, welcome to the show. We've loved following your story all season long. What's it like living that story? What's it been like for you?
Honestly, it's just been trying to keep it going. You know, I mean, I don't really look too much into it. I think it's just trying to be a regular person every day and pretend like life is normal and just be with my team every day.
You know, I think of some of the greatest college players that came in as walk-ons, and there's always this phrase, you know, I think of like Baker Mayfield, I feel like said it. It said, I bet on myself. Is that your story, King? I imagine there's places you could have gone where you would have been guaranteed a whole lot more in terms of playing time and depth chart and all the rest of it than USC. But was this a bet on yourself? What ultimately led you to come to USC?
Honestly, yeah, it was kind of just high risk, high reward. You know, honestly, this was my dream school since a kid. So I honestly thought whatever, I'm always going to believe in myself, and I'm always putting the work to make that dream try to come true.
What was that dream like? You know, when you're running up and down the Coliseum field, I'm sure you had a lot of friends and family in the house for that, you know, for the Michigan game specifically. You know, what was that feeling like?
Honestly, it was surreal during the moment, but, you know, definitely getting that moment with my family and friends and just really getting to really sink in that moment was something I'm always going to remember.
Well, things change quickly. Now you're the guy, you know, you and Brian Jackson back there splitting it up for the most part against Notre Dame. You're a marked man now. You know, how do things change when you go into a week, you know, knowing you're going to be a focal point of the offense?
Honestly, it's just same preparation every week. Same way I prepared first week. I'm always going to keep the same mentality no matter what it is. It's just go out there, execute with my team, and just go out there and have fun and play ball.
All right, we need a good running game against Nebraska. Coach Riley always talks about if the running game's not great, he always talks about, hey, we need to clean some things up. You know, we weren't particularly clean in the running game against Notre Dame is what he said. You know, what does that mean? What have you guys been working on so that you're super sharp in the run game against Nebraska?
Honestly, it's just getting back to the basics. You know, just continuing what we've been doing, just smashing out football, just being execution to our key plays and just going out there and really just showing them what we can do every time.
All right, lastly, I mean, you start in a game at Notre Dame, one of the great programs, one of the great stadiums. Now you're going to Nebraska, one of the great programs, one of the great stadiums. You know, what would a road win like this mean to you, mean to this team right now, which really needs it?
Man, it's just going to be same execution. You know, we always going the same time, same thing, just trying to get better every single day. You know, we're going to walk in there as any other game. The only team that can beat us is the Trojans. So no matter what it is, we're going to go in there and play, execute at our best abilities and have a great game Saturday.
Well, they don't call him the King for nothing. King Miller leading this USC backfield into Lincoln, Nebraska. Thanks so much. That's this week's Impact Matchup. Back live in Lincoln. The home road splits, guys, with the running game are pretty drastic. 124 yards rushing per game on the road, 264 yards rushing per game at home. There was a little bit of a soft schedule, obviously, to start the season, and maybe skews that a little bit, Cody. But what are you seeing? How do they get this running game going on the road?
Yeah, you just got to be consistent, whether it is at home or on the road. Sometimes it doesn't look pretty early on. You can't completely abandon it. Now, that's okay to lean more on the pass. You don't just have to sit there and try to force it if it's -1, and then no gain. You want to get a little bit more pass heavy and throw the football around because that will open up the run game, but you can't abandon it. And especially in these type of games, when you're on the road playing a Big Ten opponent, the crowd noise is going to be a factor. They have a good secondary. Get the run game going. If we have to throw 3 or 4 in a row, just make sure you come back to it, get on the edge, go down between the tackles, mix it up a little bit, and then get some of those extended handoffs where you get King Miller or Brian Jackson on some of those swing routes, throw them a little 2 or 3 yard play, and then get Tawa Nu'u or Tobias Raymond out in front of them in some space.
Yeah, Shaun, I didn't think that they abandoned it against Notre Dame. They're playing a lot in second 9.5 because it never got going. The Purdue game, I felt like they stuck with it, and then it sort of broke through as the game went on. But Notre Dame, it just never got going.
Yeah, it just didn't ever feel like you were getting in advantageous positions on second down and third down in that game for sure. To me, it's just spreading the ball around. You got to be able to spread the ball around. That's what challenges defense the most. You sit on defense, and if you have to worry about covering the tight end, you have to worry about the 2 wide receivers, you have to worry about the running back, you got to worry about the quarterback taking off of the ball. All those things add up to playing slow on defense. So you got to make sure that you're dialing up some of those plays just to keep the defense on edge and on the back of their feet because they have to worry about all those options.
So we mentioned this early on in the show, but Jaden did not pull the ball once against Notre Dame. He had 2 carries, but those were just sacks. Lincoln Riley didn't seem particularly bothered by it. We asked him about it on Trojans Live. I know you've been calling for it. Is that the secret here?
Yeah, I think so. I think earlier in the season you saw when Jaden would pull the ball a little bit more often, he would catch the defense off guard because they're not expecting it, and it creates a wrinkle in your offense because you're a real RPO threat. I say it all the time. Once the linebackers understand you're a quarterback that will pull it, he will run, you have to play your run lane slower, which opens up the run, in turn opens up the pass, and everything works hand in hand. But when you're not a real run threat, it's just window dressing, and after a while, I'm not going to respect it until you make me.
And Jordan, I've said this before, and I'll say it again. We talked about this on Trojans Live. I'm fine if he doesn't pull it on some of those zone reads. You can't just pull it if the end's coming upfield. You got to make the right read, and then you can kick out the RPO. I want him to run when the play breaks down. When you get outside of the pocket, when their guys aren't open, when we're doing scramble drill, take off and run. Even if it's for 4 or 5 yards, keep the defense honest. That is a backbreaker for the defense when they think they have everyone covered. Then you go make a positive play out of nothing. That keeps drives alive. Go pick up a first down. Protect yourself. Get down or get out of bounds. But I want to see him take off and run when the play breaks down and he gets outside of the pocket.
All right, let's get to the 5th member of our on-air team here. Keely Eure will join us for the first time. Hey, Keely, how are you?
Good. I'm preparing mentally for the weather, and I'll give you more on that in my next segment, but I'm getting mentally prepared for sure.
Yeah, it's certainly chilly outside, but I imagine you experienced what Shaun and I did. I mean, there's just wonderful sort of college town energy and just a great atmosphere around this game.
Oh, for sure. And we had, Gia and I, producer Gia, had a little bit of a walk around the stadium today, but everyone is so nice. I've always heard that Nebraskans are nice and can confirm, but I am here to give a question for you guys. And
what do you got?
It's building off of our last segment, talking about the defense. Louis said we've seen great flashes from USC's defense this season, but what's the key to seeing that consistently for the rest of the year?
Shaun?
I'm always going to lean towards D-line. The D-line's got to be the group that leads up front. You got to ask this defense to lead and this defensive line because those are the guys you went into the season knowing that, hey, we can produce out of this spot. Linebackers, you knew you had Gentry. Desmond Stevens still trying to feel his way out, and the back end was going to be brand new and Kamari Ramsey. But I think whenever a defense is really humming, that defensive line's leading the way.
Sua?
I think it's simple. We can get immediately better if everybody just did their job. There's nothing that you have to expect out of anybody besides knowing your play and knowing where you're supposed to be. And a lot of the times we beat ourselves before the snap. So if you just do your job, we'd immediately be better down the stretch.
So by saying that, and do you think that the defense then sort of is lacking confidence? Have they lost momentum in this season a little bit? Because, why wouldn't they do their job? I guess try to explain to people, what that means. What leads a defensive player to not do his job? Because he's obviously not doing it on purpose.
It's pressing. Yeah, no, it's not, I'm going to just not do my job because, I do what I want. It's pressing. Everybody's a competitor. It's a very competitive game, and football is a game of inches where you have to dominate the person in front of you. You have to physically impose your will all game long. You have to do it over and over again. And if you do not, it becomes a issue where you start trying to do other people's jobs because you don't feel that they can make a play. And once you start trying to be Superman, especially in run fits, you start peeking in gaps. And Shaun knows the moment you start trying to two-gap without proper leverage, the moment you're wrong, everybody's wrong because now everybody's not in the right gap when you were supposed to just be one more gap over, which creates an issue. So just doing your job is sometimes being okay, getting knocked back, extending your arms, holding that edge, and allowing the running back to cut back to your running or to your defenders because you might not make the play, but doing your job made the play.
Yeah, it's selfless. And Sua says that defense is selfless. You can't be selfish out there. You can't try to make every play out there. It's not for you to make. Your play's in that gap. If it comes in your gap, make it. If it's not in your gap, someone trust your buddy to make that play.
Today's opponent is Nebraska. We'll talk about them next on the Trojan Tailgate Show presented by YETI.
If you are a fighter, Modelo is your reward. So listen close. You put up with a lot, but you always hold it down for your people. You are strong. You are fearless. You are the baddest on the block. You are an elbow grease factory. Force of nature. You are not to be reckoned with. You are a ride or die, a powerhouse of productivity. You are a fighter, and Modelo is your reward. You've earned every last drop of this rich golden lager, so raise it up high. Modelo, the mark of a fighter. Drink responsibly. Beer imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois.
It's time to recharge, reconnect, and rediscover your perfect combination at Pechanga Resort Casino. And with your resort favorites back in action, there's all of the excitement and comfort you love with the peace of mind you can depend on. So whenever you're ready for a little rest, a little relaxation, and a lot of fun, we'll be here. Play your perfect combination at Pechanga Resort Casino today.
Children's Hospital Los Angeles is where groundbreaking research meets unparalleled expertise. It's where exceptional care is tailored 100% to kids. It's where every specialist, every room, every innovation revolves around one need, your child's. Whether it's routine care or a life-saving procedure, CHLA is where families turn to when outcomes truly matter. Children's Hospital Los Angeles. 125 years of building hope and healthier futures. Go to chla.org today.
Looking for the play of the day? That's easy. Fight on to victory with USC and fly on faster with ONT, the fastest and easiest airport experience in SoCal. Not to mention Ontario International Airport has over 90 nonstop flights to 30 major destinations with less traffic coming in and out. In other words, getting there is a breeze, and so is following our Trojans anywhere the season takes them. Because let's be honest, faster is always better when it comes to your airport. Start planning your next journey today at SoCalSoEasy.com.
This is USC football on the home of the Trojans. 710 ESPN and the all-new ESPNLA app. Your destination for LA sports. Fight on!
Starting to fill up here. We're high above Memorial Stadium in Lincoln, Nebraska, looking out at the plains. But in front of us, it is a towering structure. This place goes straight up and down. It is going to be loud in here. It's going to be fun. A great Big Ten atmosphere between two schools that used to have nothing to do with the Big Ten. A former Big 8 school in Nebraska and a Pac-10 school in USC, now battling here in the Big Ten. Let's take a look at these Nebraska Cornhuskers in this week's Scouting Report.
It's time for the Scouting Report, brought to you by Stone Brewing, proud partner of USC Athletics.
Now we're going to help you get to know today's opposing team.
You know, Shaun, I look out across here, and they've got their national championships listed, and this is one of great college football's great programs, certainly historically. This is Tom Osborne Field, their legendary head coach. But you know, 1970, 1971, 1994, 1995, 1997. Those are the titles that they claim. It's been a minute, and you know, they just gave Matt Rule a contract extension. He's doing okay here, but to me, it's a little bit of sort of an understanding of maybe where they stand in things. You know, they may never get back to where they were in the 90s.
No, I mean, they were at the promised land for a long time. Me and you growing up in the 90s, they were a team that was on every weekend. You watch the Cornhuskers, those defenses, the quarterbacks running around. They were something to watch. But yeah, the third year for Matt Rule here. He's like you said, it's been a slow start. He's trying to kick in the process. This season, started off the season with a big win at Cincinnati, which is looking really good because Cincinnati's playing some good ball. Some mediocre opponents. Then a tough loss to Michigan here that was in Nebraska, so that was a tough loss, but a good game in that one. And then the eye opener one is the Minnesota loss. You know, Minnesota really got after them pretty good in that game, losing 24-6 in that one. And then you see the Northwestern battle with them last week. So yeah, it's been not all pretty, and everyone's kind of waiting, I think, for Dylan Raiola to kind of take the ship, and he's kind of still figuring out here in his sophomore campaign. But that's something the Trojans can't let happen today.
Yeah, Cody, Dylan Raiola was a massive recruit for them, supposed to be a program changer. He's sort of gotten some weird fame by how much he closely mimics his idol Patrick Mahomes, but as a quarterback, certainly has not hit the Mahomes heights yet. What do you see?
Yeah, he's a good player. He's 72% completion percentage this year, 1,900 yards, 17 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions. This is going to be a huge game where you have to play complementary football on defense. You have to rush and you have to cover. You have to be disciplined with your rush lanes. He's good in the pocket, but where he excels is when he likes to extend plays and run around, but he takes a lot of sacks. So if you can get home, if you're disciplined, you don't give him running lanes, we can get home this week and make some big plays in the backfield. And then the second thing with that, as a DB, you have to understand if the flat route's not there right away and it's 3 seconds into the play, it's not over because they're going to turn it upfield and work the scramble drill. If you have a guy running a go ball, he doesn't get it initially, be ready for them to turn around and work back towards the sideline. You have to play each play for about 6, 7, or 8 seconds and go all the way to the whistle because he likes to extend the plays.
Yeah, Raiola gets all the sort of he's the first name on the marquee, but Emmett Johnson's really been their guy. They seem to be a better team when they're running the football.
Yeah, Emmett Johnson's a dog, and the success is 100% dependent on how well he plays, and it's not just on the ground. He showed USC last year. I think he had like 7 catches out the backfield last year. They do like to use him in empty, screen game, quick game. So Emmett Johnson, he's going to get, I think, at least 25 touches, whether it be half through the air or half on the ground. But he is a guy that we have to account for. It'll be an interesting matchup, especially with our inside backers.
Shaun, Cody was talking earlier about their 3-3-5 defense. What do you see when you look at this Nebraska defense?
Yeah, I mean, you think about 5 DBs and you think that they cover a lot. You're going to see 7, 8 guys in that backfield trying to disguise looks and confuse Jada Maava back there. That's kind of what they're built upon. Not a really great pass rushing team. They only have 12 sacks on the year, so they don't really get it up front, but do a good job of really fooling you in the back end. Rushing, teams to be able to rush the ball on them. That's kind of been a little bit of weakness. You only have 3 guys up there in the front, and you try to disguise those looks. You can get stuck in some weird calls that you don't like against the run, and that's kind of when it's been up front for them. So yeah, kind of a defense that's willing to give up a little bit of the run so they can shut down your pass game.
Yeah, and Cody, I think USC's been pretty good, the offense, in terms of handling crowd noise so far this season. But I'm telling you, the way this place is built, I think it's really going to hold sound. This will be the test today.
Yeah, I'm jealous. I was talking to Keely about this earlier in the week on the podcast. This is a bucket list stadium for me. I've always heard about Nebraska growing up. I just wish I could see it in person. I'm sure we'll talk about it when you guys get back on Monday for Trojans Live. But yeah, you can't have pre-snap penalties. The way that you take the crowd out of the game is you dominate the line of scrimmage. You make the big plays when they're there, but you don't give them extra motivation. If you get a false start, you get a delay a game, on P and 10 to start a drive, especially early on, it's going to get louder and louder. So how you silence them is make big-time plays, have a great opening drive like you did against Notre Dame a couple of weeks ago, but you also play great defense off of that, and you take them out of the game.
Good news is I think it's a bucket list stadium for a lot of USC fans because walking around downtown last night, I saw a lot of USC fans, so we might have some nice road fan presence in this one. All right, we're going to take a look at the Big Ten. Things are starting to shake out a little bit. That's next on the Trojan Tailgate Show presented by YETI.
From Verizon to Pure Talk, but she's worried the deal sounds too good to be true. Michael, she said, how can those Pure Talk people offer me the same basic service as Verizon for so much less money? I said, Ma, go ask Google how much Verizon spends on advertising and promotions. A few seconds later, my mother said, oh my goodness, $12 billion a year? That must be a typo. I'll tell you what I told my mom. It's not a typo. Verizon spends $12 billion a year on advertising and promotions, and their customers are paying for it. Well, Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. Trust me, I would know. That's why they can offer you and my mother unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a crazy fast 5G network for just $25 a month. And if you're a business owner, you could really save a fortune. Dial pound 250, say the words Mike Rowe, and you'll get an additional 50% off your first month. That's pound 250 Mike Rowe. Pure Talk. Everything you need and nothing you don't.
At Ralph's, you never compromise. You get high quality and low prices. Like you never compromise your meal with our spring salad mix, guaranteed fresh. And you never compromise your budget with low prices in every aisle. And you never compromise your appetite with our golden brown bread that's baked fresh in store. And you never compromise your wallet with our low prices. Ralph's shoppers never compromise. Ralph's. Serving SoCal for over 150 years.
Some drinks come in a bottle, some in a can. Only one comes in a ball and brings the buzz. We're Buzz Balls, the ready-to-go cocktail that's shaped like a ball. Coincidence? We think not. Big flavor, big buzz, ready to go. Buzz Balls. It's a ball. It's a drink. It's a whole vibe. Please drink responsibly. Buzz Balls available in spirit, wine, and malt. 15% alcohol by volume. Buzz Balls LLC, Carrollton, Texas.
You're listening to USC Football.
Hear every moment of USC football on 710 ESPN and the all-new ESPNLA app.
This is the Trojan Tailgate Show presented by YETI. We're getting close to kickoff here. Only about a little over an hour away here in Lincoln, Nebraska with Shaun Cody, Cravens and Cody Kessler. I am Jordan Moore, and it's time now for our Cardinal and Gold Report.
It's time for the Cardinal and Gold Report.
The Cardinal and Gold Report.
Presented by Pechanga Resort Casino, proud partner of USC football.
Let me catch everybody up on the Big Ten standings. You've got Ohio State and Indiana undefeated at the top. They're also at the top of the AP poll, number 1 and number 2 teams in the country. And to be honest, looking at their schedules the rest of the way, they seem destined at this point to move on to the Big Ten championship.
Michigan, Ohio State? Come on, Jordan. What do you got?
Even if they lost, I still think Ohio State would probably be in a good spot. But we'll see. You're right. We'll see how it plays out. But what I'm curious about, there's definitely going to be a third team in the Big Ten that makes the playoff. And the battle for third right now is Iowa, Michigan, Oregon, and USC, all with one loss in the conference. And Shaun, if you allow me to play it out, man, this is just such a pivotal game today because the Trojans do not leave the Pacific time zone the rest of the way this season. If they can conquer their road demons here today, man, I think they're going to end up in Eugene playing for a playoff spot in a couple weeks, and we'll see. You can't take any game for granted, but it is kind of laid out for them if they can win today.
Yeah, it's going to be an important one. We've circled this one, I think, at the beginning of the year, going to Nebraska later in the year. You're going to have to face that weather. But definitely, as you see it, as it kind of lays out for everyone, you look at those some of those two-loss teams you mentioned, Iowa, Michigan. Nebraska's a two-loss team, too. Those are
you're talking about overall record.
Yeah, overall record. They're kind of floating in there, too. So it's going to come down to really that Eugene game. But first and foremost, you got to take care of this one here against a team I think you should beat today.
Yeah, and it's not just this one, Sue. It's all sort of control your own destiny kind of stuff because those other teams I mentioned, USC already beat Michigan. They have Iowa coming up the Coliseum, and they go to Oregon. So and Northwestern's been pretty good. They're 3-2 in the league, and they're coming to the Coliseum next week. So they really get to sort of prove it, which is difficult in this era of unbalanced schedules. But they have the teams right there that they can prove at the very least they're the third best team in the Big Ten, if not better.
Yeah, and that's the nice part about the expanded playoff. It's nice about no longer having, I think, divisions inside of conferences now. That it just works out. Just handle business and win the games that you have on your schedule. USC has a chance to achieve all their dreams and goals that they had before the season starts. But like we said earlier, it starts tonight. You have to win, especially against a Nebraska team that's kind of struggled as of late.
Cody, that is kind of the nice part about this era. I think people were worried that the expanded playoff would make the regular season mean less. it actually, to me, for most teams, it makes it mean more because, back in the day, and wasn't that far ago, that if you lost 2 games, you were sort of like, okay, I mean, I guess now it's the difference between the Alamo Bowl and the Holiday Bowl is kind of how it was at USC. But really, everything is still there for the Trojans, even with 2 losses.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll get to that in a second, Jordan, but I've got to say something else real quick.
Yes, what do you got?
I know the Yankees right now are in Cancun and having a good time on the beach. But dang it, we got a Game 7 World Series matchup tonight. So I know it's a Cardinal and Gold report, but this is the Dodger Blue report real quick. We're 7 segments in, and we haven't brought it up yet. I got the Dodger hat on. Sua's got the Dodger hat on as well. I know the Yankees aren't playing tonight, but I got to give a shout-out to our Dodgers. An hour and a half right now from Game 7. We got Shohei on the mound. Let's go get this done.
Don't you worry. Cody, don't you worry. We've got the voice of the Dodgers on the call tonight. The voice of the Dodgers, Pete Arbogast, is on the call for USC tonight. You're going to get a joint call.
Or you're going
to think you're in Toronto when you listen to this broadcast. That's how good it's going to be. So don't you worry. When Shohei hits the game-winning bomb after he strikes out 10, Arbogast has got you covered.
Jordan, by the way, Cody said East Coast pizza sucks. I just wanted to put that out there.
Wait a minute.
Sean tried to get a bagel in Nebraska today, so I think you guys just have all kinds of regional issues.
A lot of poor food decisions today, boys. A lot of poor food decisions.
Hey, I had to show the Dodgers some love, man. I'm a Dodger fan.
Yeah, no, they're definitely not getting enough love these days. Go ahead, Cody.
Hey, we're on ESPNLA, dang it. We better give them some love. But no, that being said, yeah, you control your own destiny. And we do need some things to happen. Michigan beating Ohio State would be great. We control the tiebreaker there. Some things do need to happen, but none of that matters if you don't win out. And even if you don't make the Big Ten Conference Championship, like you said, if we win out and go 10-2, a 2-loss Big Ten team, I think, still gets in the college football playoff.
Yeah, it's a lock. 10-2 is a lock. I can tell people right now, don't worry about the number 23 ranking next to USC's name. Yeah. Don't worry about whatever the ranking is on Tuesday, I think, when the first CFP rankings come out. 10-2 in the Big Ten is a lock if the Trojans win out, but winning out will not be easy because, as we said, it's lined up there with the teams in the top half of the Big Ten on USC's schedule. Dodgers control their own destiny tonight. Trojans control their own destiny as well here against Nebraska. All right, coming up, we're going to tell you how USC is going to get it done. We'll breakdown coming up on the Trojan Tailgate Show presented by YETI.
The Johnsons are gearing up for their first game day party of the year, Rob, and Dad's grilling skills in the offseason put him in the 90th percentile.
I see Mom's got her head in the game, too, making sure no cup is empty.
But I gotta say, the MVP is USC Credit Union.
Agreed. Without USC Credit Union's home loans, the Johnsons wouldn't have this great patio for entertaining.
Hey, where's my invite?
At USC Credit Union, our flexible options and seasoned expertise will have you entertaining in the home of your dreams. Visit usccreditunion.org. Equal housing opportunity. NMLS number 448984.
It takes hard work to be the best in the game. Planning, commitment, resilience, sweat. That's why Old Dominion Freight Line, the #1 national LTL carrier for quality, works hard to be the best in the game and is proud to support those striving to be the best in theirs. Old Dominion Freight Line, official freight carrier of USC Athletics, helping the world keep promises.
In the summer of 1997, Stone IPA was first brewed. We weren't trying to create the next big thing in beer. We just wanted to make the first anniversary ale of our dreams. Crisp, light-bodied, and still packed with hoppy flavor. That little recipe went on to become our flagship beer and inspired a generation of brewers and beer lovers. From that first batch to today, Stone IPA is still the iconic West Coast style IPA.
It's time to recharge, reconnect, and rediscover your perfect combination at Pechanga Resort Casino. And with your resort favorites back in action, there's all of the excitement and comfort you love with the peace of mind you can depend on. So whenever you're ready for a little rest, a little relaxation, and a lot of fun, we'll be here. Play your perfect combination at Pechanga Resort Casino today.
You're listening to USC Football.
Hear every moment of USC football on 710 ESPN and the all-new ESPNLA app.
Welcome back to the Trojan Tailgate Show presented by YETI. Jordan Moore, Shaun Cody, Stuart Cravens, and Cody Kessler with you, getting you set for USC versus Nebraska. This is a good one. Two teams As we said in the last segment, everything to play for, everything at stake, and USC looking to conquer its road woes, and Nebraska looking to conquer its woes against ranked teams. It's been a minute since they have beaten a ranked team, and they have a chance here in the USC Trojans, who are in the top 25 right now. Let's break this one down, Shaun. When USC has the football, your eyes on what?
I want the ball spread around today. I don't think you can focus in one area. I know, obviously Makai's a target, and we use him as decoy, and you worry about, forcing him the ball and getting the ball on the screen and all these things. I just want the ball to move around the field. I want it to feel like early in the season, the free-flowing offense. We're getting the tight ends the rocks. We're getting the ball outside. Running backs are carrying it. Get that free-flowing offense back where you're hitting all the targets, and I think you give Nebraska a ton to think about.
What do you think, Sua?
I think they need to establish the RPO early. Make this three-man front uncomfortable. Make these linebackers have to cover in space. Make them get out of what they want to do. Respect you as a runner so then you can take that shot deep down the field.
Cody?
Yeah, I'm going to be watching the run game. We've talked about it a lot on this show for good reason. We got to get back to running the football well, especially on the road. When you have this three-man front and this 3-3-5 defense, you don't have to try to force the ball between the tackles. Let's get on the edge, put them in a bind, with their second-level players, and let some of our tackles and our guards get some of that pull game around. We have athletic offensive linemen. Let them get up to the second level.
Make them pay, Jacoby. That's what I've got. If teams want to send everybody a Makai Lemon, great. That's fantastic news. Makes life easy for USC because they've got a great player in Jacoby Lane, and coming off a bye week, I expect his health to be the best we've seen it in a while, and he is the kind of guy that could go out there and absolutely dominate today. So looking for number 8 to back up a good game against Notre Dame with a great one here against Nebraska. How about the USC defense when Nebraska has the ball, Shaun?
I got Emmett Johnson circled in this one. You saw him last year, great jump cuts. He's really the guy who runs the ball from him this year. You look at their offense, it doesn't look great running the ball. That's because they take a ton of sacks, but Emmett Johnson gets it done. That's the guy you got to key on.
Sua?
Same. Stop number 21. If you make it a game where Raiola has to be Superman, he throws the ball away. He takes a lot of chances that'll play in our favor, but you got to stop Emmett Johnson.
Cody?
Yeah, rush lanes, rush lanes, rush lanes. That's the most important thing. We have to be great with our rush lanes and be great with our discipline. Nebraska's 128th in the country with sacks allowed. They've given up 26 so far this year, and you can't put that on the offensive line. Go watch the tape. Dylan Raiola loves to hold the football, but where he can hurt you is if you're not disciplined with your rush lanes and you get outside of the pocket.
I had that exact stat written down for this segment as well, Cody. It's time for the front to eat. I mean, they should absolutely eat today. Now, there's some things that they need to do to get that done, to earn that pass rush, as you guys have talked about. They can't let Nebraska run all over them. They can't let those quick pass game work against them. But the teams that have beaten Nebraska, Michigan beat them in this building. Michigan had 7 sacks in that game. Minnesota beat them. Minnesota had 9 sacks.
9
Shaun.
of them, Jordan.
I mean, that's in 2 losses. They've given up 16 sacks. If that's you, Shaun, you are absolutely dying to get out there today if you're a pass rusher.
Yeah, you want to jump on a few cheapies, you know what I mean? So get those stats up in one of these games where you get a couple halves for jumping on top of the pile. Also got to mention special teams, Jordan. It's going to be a big I don't talk about special teams a bunch. 3 blocked kicks for this Nebraska team, and Kenneth Williams he returned one last week and a couple long ones on the year. Got tackled just before the end zone. So this guy, good returner.
Were you one of those guys that would jump up first on like a group sack
hand
up
first? Whoever put their hand up first and celebrated got the sack. So that's exactly what you do. You argue with everybody and you put your hand. Hey, look at my hands up first in the video.
It actually works. That's the best part.
And you mentioned special teams. We didn't talk about it, but that's really where that Notre Dame game flipped. Ryan Sari has been fantastic this season. 44 of 55 kickoffs have been for touchbacks, but we did not get a touchback after Jacoby Lane's bomb to give USC the lead in the second half at South Bend, and then all of a sudden, Notre Dame's running the other way, and your lead was short-lived, 8 seconds or whatever it was that USC led in that game. You just can't have it, especially here on the road, Shaun. I mean, this place will shake if you give up a kickoff return for a touchdown or something like that.
Yeah, I can't do those momentum but breaking plays, especially on the road. We talked about energy in this game. You got to, in these kind of atmospheres, you got to match that energy, and if you get one of those huge plays, that thing swings all the way the other way, and it feels like you're climbing up a mountain.
Yeah, get ahead and stay ahead in this one. Keep the black shirts out of it, as that is what is filling up this stadium right now, a blackout here in Lincoln. All right, we just have a couple more segments to go. Up next, you're going to hear from your head coach. Lincoln Riley's coming up on the Trojan Tailgate Show, presented by YETI.
At Ralph's, you never compromise. You get high quality and low prices. Like you never compromise your meal with our spring salad mix, guaranteed fresh. And you never compromise your budget with low prices in every aisle. And you never compromise your appetite with our golden brown bread that's baked fresh in store. And you never compromise your wallet with our low prices. Ralph's shoppers never compromise. Ralph's. Serving SoCal for over 150 years.
Tommy Trojan is at the 10, the 5, touchdown, USC!
Make big plays on the field and in life. With iTrust Capital, you can buy and sell crypto 24/7 in a secure premium custody account or in a tax-advantaged crypto IRA. iTrust Capital is easy to use and has no sign-up fees. Don't be a Monday morning quarterback. Make big plays now. Visit itrustcapital.com/USC to start investing today. Use promo code Trojans to get $100. iTrust Capital, the official cryptocurrency platform of the USC Trojans.
Taxes and conditions may apply. Fees apply. Cryptocurrencies are a speculative investment.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End of friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
He's got the speed. He's got room. He's going to score.
No one gets you closer to the game than Sirius XM College Sports Radio.
For the win. Got it. Let's go.
Tune in for news, talk, and analysis from the offseason through regular season and into the postseason. We've got your team covered anywhere you go.
Deep to center field. Oh, it's gone.
Get a free trial at SiriusXM.com/College Sports Radio 2025.
You're listening to USC Football.
Hear every moment of USC football on 710 ESPN and the all-new ESPNLA app.
Well, we are getting close to kickoff here. USC versus Nebraska. Trojans out there, full pads and uniforms. Makai Lemon catching and running after Jaden Mayava throws. So we're getting to it. Everything but the big guys out there on the field right now for the Trojans getting warm for this one against Nebraska. This is the Trojan Tailgate Show presented by YETI, and this is the head coach Lincoln Riley with Keely Eure.
This is your prescription to win, brought to you by USC Pharmacy.
Proud partner of USC Athletics.
USC Pharmacy is operated by the USC Man School.
Learn more at pharmacies.usc.edu.
Coach, when talking to your players this week, it feels like they're really itching to play and get out there. What have you seen just from a mindset standpoint from your team?
Yeah, they've attacked the last few weeks. I think they see the opportunity that we have. You know, we've positioned ourselves very well within this conference right now. We're in a position where, you know, we go win. You know, a lot of fun things can happen, and so it's fun to be in that position. And this is what you work all year for is this time of year and being in position to go win and win championships and have a chance to accomplish some pretty cool things. So obviously a big one here this week, and guys are itching to get this one and obviously get into this next stretch.
You were in a unique position last year when you faced Dana Holgorsen for the first time as offensive coordinator for Nebraska. I'm curious how or if his offense has evolved since that first matchup.
Yeah, for sure they've evolved. I mean, you could tell, you know, that was such a unique situation last year where they'd just been there a couple of weeks and all of a sudden, you know, is calling plays. Yeah, I think he's certainly evolved, you know, along with the quarterback and their other players, you know, I think have settled into what they want to do offensively, and they're playing good ball. They've been able to make some, you know, really big explosive plays, a lot of yards after catch and after contact, and so we'll have to do a really good job limiting them there.
It seems like there's opportunities to be made for your front seven, but also that quarterback Raiola also likes to hold on to the ball a little bit and try to make a play downfield. How much, and I know they always want to play in harmony, but how much does your front seven in the secondary need to play in harmony in that sense?
Well, we do, you know, and he is a quarterback that you know, historically likes to take some chances and can scramble around, and he's a big kid too, so even if you're there, you know, getting him on the ground is a challenge. And so, you know, we've got to be able to not only put pressure on him, but either keep him in the pocket or get him down and actually finish off the sacks. And then, yeah, we're going to have to be great in our scramble drill defense, whether we're in zone or man coverage. We're going to have to do a good job with our eyes. We're going to have to be able to match up and be really solid in coverage and know that these plays very well could get extended out past the normal time.
On the other side, Nebraska's defense is the number 2 passing defense in the nation. What have you seen that they do well, and how do you attack that effectively?
Yeah, they've got good secondary players. They got a good scheme. You know, I think they do a really good job of changing up the looks for offenses, and they do a good job in both their zone and man concepts that definitely challenge the throws. So, yeah, I mean, I think we're going to have to be really sharp in our execution, be able to execute well both versus, man and zone coverage. And when we get our chances to make some of our big plays, whether they're down the field or even the short things after the catch or in the run game, we got to take advantage of those.
All righty, Coach, thanks for your time and good luck on Saturday.
All right, thanks, Keely.
All right, we're back live in Lincoln, Nebraska, and now live with Keely Eure, who is down there on the sideline. Keely's weekly, or at least for every road game, weather report. How is it down there?
It's getting chilly. I put my gloves on and then lost one glove already, so that's great for me. I will say, though, I was chatting with defensive end coach Shaun Cody between segments, and he said this is the best weather for us big boys. He said this is like playing with air conditioning on. So he said his group is ready to go because they'll have a nice game with a nice little breeze because they've been working hard.
Shaun, can you attest? Do you like the cold weather?
Oh, yeah, this is perfect. I mean, no rain and lightning. That's what's even better.
That's for sure.
Yeah, these cold weather games, this is perfect football weather.
How about the wind, Keely? Anything to affect the game? I mean, I don't think the cold will affect the game too much. What about the wind?
I mean, yes, but I was checking the weather, as you guys know, this whole week. And apparently there's only supposed to be like 4 miles per hour wind, so I don't think it should be too bad. I will say, though, you talk about warm-ups. We're now 2 for 4 on the road for normal warm-ups.
I know.
So this is only the second one this season that USC has had a full, complete warm-up on the field pregame. So
yeah, that's right.
Craziness there. Now, I will talk about the injury update, and it's interesting. The defensive linemen both guys in the trenches are the last guys to come out for warm-ups, which is great for me, because that means I need to filibuster before I can tell you guys things. But they're coming out right now. But because I'm filibustering is because there are 3 offensive linemen listed as questionable today. Elijah Page, we've talked about it all season long, it feels like. Keely Eure, which I will note, he was doing pregame warm-ups. It's the first time we've seen him since before that injury at Illinois, but he was warming up with Sam Heward. So we still saw Jean-Ray Reed working with Mayava and with Hassan Longstreet. The other questionable item, and I'm standing right next to the student section, so if you hear the crowd, Nebraska
loud.
Just came out. But the other notable one is Micah Benuelos, and if you remember, he has come in at left guard when Elijah Page got injured. So if he is someone who can't go today, we're going to see even more new faces on the offensive line. But the full team is now running out and about to start their warm-up. So let's see if I can. Okay, Micah Benuelos is not dressed out today. Something to note there. And then also, Elijah Page did dress out last game for Notre Dame, but then didn't ultimately play. So even if I tell you, and I do see him, he is dressed out right now, but he was dressed out for Notre Dame and didn't play. So we will see if that means anything. I wonder if Micah being out kind of forces their hand a little bit. We did hear from Coach Riley this week that it didn't seem like anyone was really ready to go. So I wonder if Elijah Page, 1, is ready to go, and 2, is he in full game shape? Because if you remember, he's been out for several weeks, so we shall see. But I can confirm that Micah Benuelos is not in pads tonight.
Yeah, that's interesting, Keely, because my head was in the same place, which was if Elijah Page does come back, and it's always seemed like he's been close for the last 2-3 weeks. I figured coming off the bye week, if not now, then when. I was sort of wondering where he would slot in, though. Maybe he wouldn't go immediately back to left tackle because Tobias Raymond's been good. But does the Benuelos injury sort of potentially open up a spot where Raymond goes back to guard and then Elijah goes back to his tackle spot? Does that sort of make sense to everybody?
Yeah, I'm looking at the chart here, and I think that's what would happen if Micah can't go. Elijah will kick back if he can go. Now, if not, you're thinking Hayden Treater or Kylon Murray. Colin Miller, King Miller's brother, who we saw early on in the season. So those are maybe 2 possibilities if Elijah Page can't go.
And can we give a shout out to Tobias Raymond, because the fact that we can just talk about him slotting anywhere has been a huge, huge asset to USC this season.
Sua, I'm curious. I was talking about this earlier. What do you think the base defense will be tonight? Because they sort of changed it on the fly at halftime in Notre Dame. Do you think they start with 3 linebackers here against Nebraska and it takes Eric Gentry, your best tackler, out of the box? Or do you think that they start with Kamari Ramsey as a nickel safety and have him play in the box and let Gentry play in his more comfortable spot?
I think you got to leave Gentry in his more comfortable spot, and I would love for Kamari to play safety, especially against a pass-happy quarterback, but we kind of need to crowd the box a little bit and make sure we get Emmett Johnson contained before that gets out of control. So I think you'll see a lot of a nickel package and sometimes dime just to keep an athletic linebacker out in space, because we got to keep our edge. I think with how the play's been on the inside, the only thing that's really keeping it from really falling off the shelf is keeping that edge consistent. So I think we'll stay in a lot of nickel packages.
Cody, real quick, Keely brought up, hey, what kind of shape is Elijah Page in? The pass protection's been fantastic this season. Would you worry about Page coming back and slotting in at left tackle after missing a month or whatever it's been?
No, if Elijah Page is ready to go, if he's cleared and he's off the injury report and he's 100% healthy, throw him at left tackle. He's that good of a football player. He was rolling already this year. He was the most improved offensive lineman from a year ago. If he's back healthy, put him at left tackle and let him roll tonight.
All right, we got one more segment to go. Our best in the game picks are next. It's the Trojan Tailgate Show presented by YETI.
Latest tech made Helium Mobile, the first phone carrier powered by the people. Experience coverage from the nation's largest 5G network and a network built by people like you. For just $20 a month, get unlimited talk, text, and data. Plus, earn crypto for contributing to the network, which you can use to pay your phone plan. Whether you're a USC Trojans fan, student, employee, or just trying to save a buck on your phone bill, Helium Mobile is for you. Make the switch today at HelloHelium.com. Fight on.
If you are a fighter, Modelo is your reward. So listen close. You put up with a lot, but you always hold it down for your people. You are strong. You are fearless. You are the baddest on the block. You are an elbow grease factory, a force of nature. You are not to be reckoned with. You are a ride or die, a powerhouse of productivity. You are a fighter, and Modelo is your reward. You've earned every last drop of this rich golden lager, so raise it up high. Modelo, the mark of a fighter. Drink responsibly. Beer imported by Crown Imports, Chicago, Illinois.
Looking for the play of the day? That's easy. Fight on to victory with USC and fly on faster with ONT, the fastest and easiest airport experience in SoCal. Not to mention, Ontario International Airport has over 90 nonstop flights to 30 major destinations with less traffic coming in and out. In other words, getting there is a breeze, and so is following our Trojans anywhere the season takes them. Because let's be honest, faster is always better when it comes to your airport. Start planning your next journey today at SoCalSoEasy.com.
It's time to recharge, reconnect, and rediscover your perfect combination at Pechanga Resort Casino. And with your resort favorites back in action, there's all of the excitement and comfort you love, with the peace of mind you can depend on. So whenever you're ready for a little rest, a little relaxation, and a lot of fun, we'll be here. Play your perfect combination at Pechanga Resort Casino today.
This is USC football on the home of the Trojans. 710 ESPN and the all-new ESPNLA app. Your destination for LA sports. Fight on!
One final segment of the Trojan Tailgate Show presented by YETI. Been our pleasure to get you set for this one. It's going to be a fun one. I'm fired up for it. USC and Nebraska. Nebraska came to the Coliseum last season. USC sent them packing. They have a great history in this series. Trojans have dominated it. They came in here in 2007 and beat up on Nebraska, but this one is a real coin flip game if you ask all the experts, and really a pivotal game in both teams' seasons. So we'll see who can come out on top here in just a few minutes. No one came out on top last week in our best in the game picks, because if USC doesn't win, nobody wins. So we got some fresh picks here for you today. Let's get to our Old Dominion best in the game.
The best in the game
is brought to you by Old Dominion Freight Line,
official freight carrier of USC Athletics,
helping the world keep promises.
All right, let's get started with Keely Eure back on the field. Keely, who is the guy to watch in this one?
I also just need to update. I did find my missing glove. Don't worry, everybody.
Oh, my God. Thank God.
I know, right? My pick of the game is Brian Jackson. I feel like if USC is going to have success tonight, they got to get the run game going. So I'm putting my hope in Brian Jackson tonight.
I like that one, Keely. Big physical runner. I sort of alluded to this earlier. Coming out of a bye week, I think you might see a little bit more of a even share in the backfield than what we saw in Notre Dame, where King Miller had 18 carries and Brian Jackson had 6. I think there's a chance for B-Jack to take this backfield over a little bit the rest of the way. We'll see if he can do it here tonight. Cody Kessler, what say you?
I got USC's playmaker on defense. I'm going with safety Bishop Fitzgerald. I need him to have a big game tonight. Dylan Raiola will give you some opportunities. I expect maybe one interception tonight, maybe even a sack fumble. Danton Lynn likes to bring him on some safety pressures, but I expect Fitzgerald to have a big game.
Yeah, they certainly like to attack downfield to go along with that sack number that Cody gave earlier. They are at the top of the conference in pass plays of 30 or more yards. So it's sort of like a give or take there with Dylan Raiola. He's going to attack downfield if he has any time to do so. Pressure will be on. Bishop back there is USC's center fielder. What about you, Sua?
I'm going with Ryan Sayeri, and I believe there is a lot of opportunities to score points today, and he will account for a ton of them, maybe even a clutch field goal before the half, and maybe even late in the game.
Yeah, that was Ryan Sayeri for everyone who was trying to figure out
what do you think, Wood? Do you think there's a scenario in which Sua could win this without a game-winning field goal? He's really banking on Trojans by 3. Is he
golden leg.
Is this the first time anyone's taken a kicker?
I think it is.
That sounds like a great decision.
The only way that he wins this, Jordan, without a game-winning kick is if the game's 12-9 and he goes 4 for 4 for field goal.
Every time.
And maybe even a game winner.
I make a pick, it gets ridiculed and just
You are winning this competition.
Yeah, there's a method to the madness, dog. You just
Watch him
relax.
be right, Jordan. We're all going to be wrong.
Yeah, no, I hope he is right. I hope he is right. Shaun, I think, who would have won last week? Shaun, you picked Lake against Notre Dame. He caught a touchdown pass, so maybe you would have won. Keely had Jacoby. He had a big game. So you were close against Notre Dame, but no cigar?
Yeah, I'm starting to sniff it at the end of the year here. I'm getting in the ballpark a little bit, guys. I know you're worried, and you've been praising my pick all day, Jordan, so I love it. I've been just listening to your take all day on my guy, Jacoby Lane, who's going to have a big one today. Had a big snag last week. I think this is his breakout performance of the season.
I'm with you. I think Jacoby Lane is a great pick, and very likely if USC wins this game that number 8 is a big part of it for the Trojans. But the thing that we have been talking about all day is that this pass rush can get after it.
Defense.
And if that happens, how about a 2, maybe 3 sack day for my guy, Cam Crawford? Hey, that's there, guys. That's there. Nebraska averages 8 sacks allowed in their losses. As the Trojans get to that number, there's a pass rusher that's going to put up a number. Why not Cam Crawford in this one? Any final thoughts from you guys back in the studio before we get going here?
Go Dodgers.
Let's go Trojans. Let's go Dodgers. Let's go 2 for 2 tonight. Let's get everything taken care of. Let's all have a great day.
Our Dodgers insider, Cody Kessler. Who knew? Who knew? like a closer in a baseball game. He's come in here in the 9th inning as the Dodgers expert. I love it. Let's see if the Dodgers can get it done. The Trojans are going to kick first, so here it comes. USC versus Nebraska, live from Lincoln on the USC Trojans Media Network.
You've been listening to the Trojan Tailgate Show, presented by YETI. Brought to you by
YETI. We make gear that helps you stay out longer, travel farther, and live harder.
Pechanga Resort Casino, proud partner of USC football.
Stone Brewing, proud partner of USC Athletics.
And by Invesco QQQ, the official ETF partner of the USC Trojans.
And only minutes until kickoff. Today at Memorial Stadium in Lincoln, Nebraska. USC, Nebraska. We continue the countdown to kickoff with Pete Arbogast and Shaun Cody. Coming up next.
USC, Nebraska. Stay tuned to catch the USC Trojans on the gridiron. Coming up next, right here.
Right here on the ESPNLA USC Trojan Media Network. Presented by Pechanga Resort Casino.
How do you do?
In the summer of 1997, Stone IPA was first brewed. We weren't trying to create the next big thing in beer. We just wanted to make the first anniversary ale of our dreams. Crisp, light-bodied, and still packed with hoppy flavor. That little recipe went on to become our flagship beer and inspired a generation of brewers and beer lovers. From that first batch to today, Stone IPA is still the iconic West Coast style IPA.
Jersey Mike's subs are great to enjoy in all kinds of places.
So you can bring a Club Supreme when you're camping?
Yeah.
Or have a Mike's Chicken Philly in the park?
Uh-huh.
Or a BLT when you're hiding under your boss's desk so you can erase that email you accidentally sent? The one where you made fun of his new haircut?
How long have you been under there?
Shh, quiet.
He's here. Oh, sorry.
Hello?
See what I mean about the haircut? Freshly sliced and freshly grilled subs for any time, anywhere. It's a Jersey Mike's thing. A sub above.
Don't just cheer for the Trojans, experience the game like one. Introducing USC Game Day Experiences on Airbnb, where you'll step onto the field at the LA Coliseum and feel 70,000 fans erupt. Your game day includes a VIP tailgate, a behind-the-scenes tour, pregame field access for warm-ups, and field-level seats in the exclusive Audi Club for the game. Hosted by true Trojan insiders, this intimate access is available for upcoming home games. USC Game Day Experiences, now on Airbnb. Book at airbnb.com/USC Game Day.
Invesco QQQ is the official ETF partner of the USC Trojans. The future isn't scary. Not realizing its potential, however, could be. In the game of football, the goal is to have a winning team that strives for excellence on the field. By focusing on growth and potential, you can build a lineup full of talented players. Let's rethink possibility. Invesco Distributors, Inc.